at all the job search engines you want, but there's some jobs out there that you'll have to go out in person and meet these people. Another thing we want to talk about when it comes to networking is, let's say you're doing volunteering, right? You're volunteering for a few months over the summer. Well, it's getting to the end of, like, let's say July, and you're about to finish your time with the organization. You don't want to start slacking off. That's actually the most important time. If you do poor work at the end of it, they'll remember you for that, and they might not be willing to write you a recommendation because of that. So whatever you do, finish strong. That's the best way to keep up ties. And don't forget to talk to the people that could give you recommendations. I regret not asking some of the people I've worked in the past for their contact information so that I could put them down as references. So definitely remember to do that.
Awesome. And so who has a Facebook account? You feel confident about who you express yourself to be on Facebook? Who has Twitter? A little bit less. Who has some random site like Tumblr? No one. Okay. Well, one person. So one thing that employers definitely look for in social media is LinkedIn. It's kind of the equivalent to Facebook, I would say. And the reason why you should actually put invested interest in LinkedIn is because it will allow them to get a good idea of who you are on a professional sense instead of going and stalking your Facebook. That's something to keep in mind, that you want to make sure that you're portraying yourself well and very professionally on LinkedIn, and to also make sure that you're scrubbing your internet presence on other social media websites which you use for your friends and family. You definitely want to make sure that you're maintaining relationships, as he said, so you get those references and you can actually put them into ePACK or LinkedIn so that you can easily send it. You also want to make sure that you're branding yourself and sending a strong image of who you are as a professional and who you want to be. That's something that many students forget to kind of put. So they put all their experiences, but they don't put necessarily what their ambitions are and their goals, and that's something that's important to express. You also want to make sure that you're starting to kind of create and collect a portfolio of your really great work. So whether you be an English major, maybe you wrote some really amazing essays during your college career, you can kind of create a find-your portfolio to express that. If you're in sciences and you've done research, you can also create a portfolio so that you can really effectively show the work that you produce, and you can do the same thing with the work that you produce in your jobs. And then the last thing I would definitely recommend with branding yourself is keeping in touch with the people that you're networking with. So maybe you met this person one time, find them on LinkedIn, try to reach out and connect with them, try to make sure that you're growing kind of this presence, because you never know who that person might know. Another thing that's really important to think about when you're going on LinkedIn is kind of hosting an informational interview. So an informational interview is different from a traditional interview because it's completely voluntary, and you're the person who's asking for the interview of the professional. So you're coming in with questions prepared, and you're asking them, hey, can I take you to a cup of coffee, just to pick your brain about your field and what you do. People actually are really receptive to this more than you would actually think, because people love to help students, and this is the best time to do this while you're learning, while you're trying to build yourself and build your experiences. These people are going to be really helpful and insightful for preparing you. So you want to make sure that you're coming dressed professionally, and not necessarily in three-piece suit or anything like that, but you want to show that you are professional and you're someone that is ready to communicate with the working world. You also might want to save a little money for coffee. Many professionals will actually treat you, but you do want to be prepared to show that you are really grateful for their time. So pay for the coffee if they let you. The other thing that you want to do when you're on these informational interviews is prepare your elevator speech. So does anyone know what an elevator speech is? Anyone come to launches before?
Yeah, it's just like a brief summation of who you are, what you're interested in, what your goals are.
Yeah, exactly. So it's short and sweet, but it lets them know about your brand. It lets them know about your experiences and what you're passionate about and where you're headed. You want to have prepared some of your strengths and weaknesses, and we say to always make sure that you kind of have 3 of them, so you have 3 things that you're really good at. So for me, I'm an idea person. So whenever I'm communicating with someone, I'm really enthusiastic about coming up with great new ideas. But you also want to have weaknesses. So for me, organization is not my strongest suit, but it's something that I'm definitely developing the skills to be a very organized person. You want to make sure that you communicate these things with these people because it shows that you're invested in the conversation and you're invested in developing further. Extra credit would be to actually get business cards because many other students don't have that. So instead of like scribbling down on any random piece of paper, it shows that you're really prepared when you have a business card prepared, or even a website to hold your portfolio or some of the things that you're trying to build if you are in a field that's creative or a field that is kind of technical, showing your capabilities by building your own website. The last thing we would recommend is you actually going to professional organizations. Does anyone know what a professional organization? If not, I'll ask for it. Or what's a professional organization?
Well, it sounds like something like the National Society of Scholars. I've been getting emails about that, and probably some clubs here at NC State would be good professional organizations that I could reference.
Exactly. So a professional organization is a group of people who are in a field and they're dedicated to that field, and they come together to share knowledge with each other. This is a really great opportunity for you to go on informational interviews with these people. So for me, I'm a marketing student, so I actually went out of my way to join NC State's American Marketing Association, and there I meet other students who are really passionate about marketing, but it also gives me opportunities to meet people in the Raleigh area who are passionate and professionals in the marketing world. So you want to get in touch with these people, go on informational interviews, and do the most to kind of extend yourself in a learning format. So yeah, can we get everyone to plug their phones really quickly? And complete this survey.
Yeah, the survey is just, it touches on how our performance was today. It helps us improve, so just please give us some good critique. And also, there's the career ambassador position. The application is open now, I believe. So if you want to do what we do, we present about at least six, 2 of these are launches and 4 of them are workshops, so 6 presentations a semester. It's volunteer work. It's a lot of fun. We have a nice team. We do a lot of team builder activities. You get to meet a lot of people, so there's your networking. There you go. On top of that, it's great to have on your resume.
It allows you to develop your public speaking skills. Yeah. Everyone, so let's check back in with Ford.
Oh, hey Josh, hey Sophia, how's it going?
Hey.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So, hey, I have some great news for you guys. I'm a social media coordinator now.
That's great, Ford.
Yeah, so you know how I volunteer at the soup kitchen sometimes? Well, I was talking to a few people there, and I met this lady Matilda, right? And it turns out she has a startup business that she was talking to me about. She's going to be a baker for the local Triangle area. And she was like, yeah, we're looking for someone who could be our social media representative. I was like, really? And so I showed her my Instagram, and she hired me right there on the spot.
Awesome.
So yeah, I owe my success to both of you. You really showed me some great tips of how I can find opportunities in my field.
Well, that's great, Ford. Since we helped you out so much, how about you help us out and finish this presentation off for us?
I would love to. So, here are some of our learning outcomes. We learned to time management in getting organized, how if you have a plan to manage your time, you can schedule in times to look for jobs, and then getting organized, you can research a few jobs, look on ePACK, talk to a few people. There are a lot of opportunities out there that you might not even know about. ePACK is a great resource for all NC State students. You can apply for jobs there, you can upload your resume. ePACK has a job searching area where you're only competing against NC State students. So every job on there, only NC State students are competing for, so you have a better chance. You can upload your resume, like I said. You can also schedule advising appointments with your advisor. You can check up on launches that are coming up. You can check up on expos and career fairs that are coming up. So everyone has one already. You just have to sign up and log on. And then the Career Development Center services, we're open every day, well, on the weekdays, from 11 to 2. Those are our drop-in hours. Feel free to stop by. We can check your resume. We can give you basic career counseling. We have mock interviews you can sign up for. And then the importance of networking. Networking is a great way to find jobs and to just talk to people who are in your industry. A personal example is something that's going on in my life. This is my last semester at NC State. I'm not actually a senior, I'm a sophomore. And I'm just taking some time off of school to work and also practice acting a little bit. And so while the importance of networking is, I've been acting for most of my life, and I have met several people who have been on Broadway, who are currently on Broadway, and have connections in Atlanta and in LA. And even though that doesn't guarantee me a gig, I definitely have a leg up on the other people applying for the same positions or auditions. So networking can definitely give you a leg up, and you can find a lot of opportunities there. And then informational interviews. That's a great way to know about the industry you're going into. You know, because you'll read a lot online about how great an industry is, and then you'll get there, and it might not be so hot. And so these interviews will actually give you like the real scoop of like what's going on in that industry. So what questions do you all have before we close? Any questions at all?
You guys are ready? Awesome.
Well, great. Thank you so much. Oh, yes.
Just kind of like briefly looking at internships, like a lot of times there's not stuff like, for example, I'm doing electrical engineering, there's not a lot of stuff that's like, oh, hello, looking for an electrical engineer. You will be doing electrical engineering, yada, yada, yada. Like, is it that weird to apply for something else, like, I don't know, informational engineer, like something that has an engineering name, or like some company that is local and that you think is cool, like, or I guess at least an informational interview that would like give you the scoop on it, like you said. Do you think like any professional would kind of think that's weird for like you applying to it?
No, definitely not, especially if you have some skills that they're already looking for. Definitely try it out. May I ask what year you're in?
I'm just freshman.
Okay, so as you go further into electrical engineering, you're gonna find, and I'm also in it, so I can tell you this, there's like multiple specializations, and you'll figure out more of what you wanna do. So you'll find those job descriptions you're looking for right now, and you can find those on ePACK. Make sure you go to the career fairs. Like definitely that's where you'll find a lot of these jobs. But I wouldn't worry too much about that, like not finding those electrical engineers doing electrical engineer things. Because once you get more into the curriculum, you'll figure out the more specialized stuff that you want to do.
I would just add that you should focus on your transferable skills. So if you see they're looking for someone generally in engineering when they look for the qualifications, then you can definitely apply and definitely stress the transferable skills that you've had through jobs or classes or any of the experiences that you've had throughout college. So focus on transferable skills, not necessarily like the name of the role.
Are there any other questions?
All right, well, thank you. It's been
Thank
a
you.
pleasure having you as our audience. And have a good day.
And feel free to come up and talk to us if you have any.
Thank you.